casting it. Is that the most exciting part of the process? So
I'd like to know.
Like you have it all down and you're like, or does it not work out that way, that you write it and then you cast it, or you kind of, or when you're doing it, you're thinking, Logan Lerman, is he in your head from the start?
Logan definitely was. I've been a fan of Logan's for such a long time, and I think, you know, he was probably, in writing Jonah, I think he was the one person, the one character in the script that I really did have in mind, for sure. And then, you know, getting these otherworldly talents, Jerrica and Al and Josh Radnor, I mean, it's like Christmas morning, or what I imagine it to be, because I'm Jewish, like Hanukkah morning, I guess. But it is the most exhilarating part of the process.
I think it's important to touch on the seriousness of the subject, though. It's a hard thing to transition from sort of like bantering with you to this, but your take on sort of anti-Semitism in general globally, you hear about it in the UK, and we've kind of had a crisis of our own with certain governmental sort of leaders and things over the last few years. This show is very unambiguous about the fact that these things exist, and we would do well to remember that. And
yes.
I don't want to put words in your mouth. What's your thoughts on that?
It's a great way to put it. You know, I think for me, as a Jewish person, the feeling of anti-Semitism is so overt, and yet it is so casual, you know? So when you talk about the ambiguity of it, I think many people who don't have that experience say, oh, well, I may hear it in passing, but I think for Jews in America and around the world, it is so present in our lives. And so this show tries to call that out, tries to evoke the experience that Jews may feel, that any diverse group of people may feel, being marginalized, being bigoted against, in ways that can, you know, express our experience. So if it feels in your face, if it feels overt, I think it's because that's how we do intuit it and how we do experience it. Yeah.
Were you influenced at all by Killing Eve?
I was.
Yeah.
I was as a character.
Yeah, I definitely...
Jodie Comer, man. Big fan of her. I watched that and was like, how can I make that into this? Like, how do I translate her performance to what I'm doing? So yes, I took a lot of inspiration from Killing Eve.
Everybody's brilliant in it, but to get the Pacino is quite something.
I mean, I think that it was, surreal at every turn. From the time that we had heard that, you know, that he might be interested in a project like this from his agents, to the time that David and I and Alfonso Gomez-Reon, who directed the pilot, were meeting with him, to the day that we wrapped. It's just been an incredible experience and incredibly surreal throughout every step of the process. It's a very weird thing that when you're sitting in Al Pacino's living room, just, you know, shooting the
Yeah, man.
Any temptation to try and do an Al impression?
Absolutely.
No, I'm not going to ask you to. Have you seen like when Rob Brydon does it? Have you seen?
I've seen Rob Brydon's impression. He's very good.
Yeah.
I love Rob Brydon as well.
And Bill Hader does an amazing one as well.
I'll leave them to do the impressions.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen.
No, you don't do that around the great man, do you?
Absolutely not.
But
I was sat next to him last night during dinner and was just trying to keep my cool the entire time. It's just like having him there in the room is constantly baffling and exciting.
And he loves his craft so much. It's actually so inspiring to see somebody not only love his craft so much, but give it 145% at every turn. Like he's never not going to give it his
everything.
all, and I feel like it elevates everybody else.
Oh, wow. Go!
The stuff in the squad.